Good afternoon everyone and welcome back to Mr. Bravo's workshop. Hope you're all well. In our last episode we put the capstans on, the anchors and a few other bits and pieces, and I think what we'll do is while we're up the front here, I've got a toothpick soaking in the accent colour, and I think what we'll do is we'll do the chains, and it should have well soaked in by now, so let's see how we go with that. Yeah, that's working out rather nice. So we'll just put a bit more on there. And I only really soaked it for like 5 minutes. And as you can see, that's just enough to sort of put it on there. Without it going all over the place. Okay, I'll do the one chain and then I'll do the other side and then I'll come back. So that's pretty good like that. I think we'll just leave that there. It's not bad. Well, there's our chain on, and can I just say, for a 1/700 ship, I've seen 1/300 ships that don't have a chain that is well defined as that one there. It was quite a good chain. And I got the desired result which I wanted. So let's move on. So while that chain is drying, let's get these cannons out that well and truly dried now from a couple episodes ago. Let's build these up and finish these off. So the first one is section 23, which is the one on its own. We'll get these pieces out. I know they're already cleaned up. We only painted the tops of these, not the other stuff. The other stuff will be just fine. So we'll put this one together. So there's our first two cannons on. Now on the sprue, they were marked on the bottom, so try and keep them to the downside. I just cleaned the tops of these and we'll fit these on like that. Actually, we'll see if we can do this on the camera. So we'll fit that on, popping them through there, bringing that piece around and gluing that on there like that. So we'll do that. So I've just used a bit of Revell just to glue the tail into that. Why Revell? Because it buys me a little bit of time. It doesn't go off straight away. And I just wanted some adjustment time. On ships, I do know that if they're not straight, and they look skewy, it just ruins it. So this is one of those sections where you want to take your time, get them right one way, and then flip them over and get them right the other way. So if you look at that, where are you? There you are. They're a little bit that way there. So we need to bring them back and adjust them. So I'll do that off camera. And then once you're happy with them like I am, just let that go off for just a little bit more adjustment. Don't want them pointing into each other either. So, yeah. So they're fine that way, fine that way, fine that way. And what we'll do now, we'll let that one go. I just finished editing that video, and it obviously wasn't in this video, but it's obviously coming up. So I'll save this clip for when it actually is coming up. But it is coming up. Anyway, thanks for watching. Well, here we have another one. This is the one of the three that are on page 10, section 24. We're going to fit this section onto this one here, and I've got to tell you, it's quite possibly the worst fit I've ever seen. And that's it. I mean, it doesn't even go. It's not even close to going. And I'm tempted to leave it off because it's so bad. Let's try another one. Is it just one bad or all of them are bad? No, they're all bad. Wow, that is such a bad fit. You know, yeah, if it was close, you'd say fair enough, but you're going to put 6 of these on, and they've got to look good. You can't use tweezers because they're too shiny, and they just don't go. I even double checked to see if they're on the right way. Let's change that one. Let's go with that one there. It's just an all-round bad fit. They're not even close to going in. Wow. It's up to you what you want to do on that one. I think. I can honestly say I've spent 10 minutes here mucking around with these, seeing if I can get them to roughly fit. And they're just miles off. They're just absolutely miles off from fitting. And I double check to make sure they're on the right way. And they're small and they're awkward, and it's just, yeah, it's a really bad fit. Like, they're not even close to fitting. I can't even get them close to fit. And there's hours in mucking around with those trying to get them to fit, so they're not going on. Well, there's our 4 cannons, and some of you might say, well, you didn't finish the model off because you didn't put the pieces on there. The point of these 2 models was to show you how to do them fairly easily, and it's not anyone else's fault that the parts don't fit. And you can muck around with them and put them on if you want to, but I chose not to. So that's just the way that it is. So I'll let them dry off. Look, I would have liked to have fitted those parts, but it just wasn't going to be. And this is supposed to be an easy fit. And I can't believe everything else fits so well and they fit so bad. So that's what I'm going to say about that. So the next ones are the 25s. We need 4 of them. They're the ones we painted before on top, so we'll get them out. So there's the next 4 done, and we'll let them dry off before we touch them any further, so we can fit the bases on. So we'll give them a good 10 minutes, I'd say, and then I'll come back. Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Mr. Bravo's workshop. Yesterday we finished off, well, we glued these guns together. They should be well and truly gone off by now. So I think what we'll do is, first thing this morning, is we will continue on with those. They are glued from behind, but I've also left them so they can be slightly adjusted if I need them to be. So they're sort of gone off just the way I want them to. You know, and I'll stress again, just make sure that they're the correct in and out. It looks terrible on ships when these aren't straight. So yeah. So let's put the backing on those. So these are quite an easy fit. We just get the backing plate and pretty much sit it on there like that. And while it's on there, we'll just add some glue and glue it down. It's a little loose, so it should just all wick in there quite nicely. Put a little extra on there. There's a little wick in there. Did a terrible job of that one, but anyway, it's on. And what we'll do is we'll just put a little bit up here and a little bit there, just to wick in those 2 corners, and that is pretty much one done. I see these have got like locking pins on here. That's interesting. So I'll just show you how this goes together. So they pretty much go together just like that with the backing plate on. And while we've got it there, let's go fairly heavy with the glue. It'll just wick in. I'll put a little dab on here. It'll wick up the top there. Do the same on the other side. I'm taking the excess off as I grab this. So that's it, really. And that's all that's going to need to go off. So that is another one done. So there's our 4 main guns. Now we can move on to the slightly smaller ones. We'll do them now. So these little ones, pretty much the same sort of way. We've got the little backing plate there. We will stick them on. Is there a right or wrong way with these ones? Interesting. I might just double check. I'd say there is a right or wrong way. I'm going to say they go on that way. Yeah, that seems more normal. So we'll do the same again. We'll just line it up. We'll glue the base. Let it wick in there. And then we'll just do a little bit of readjusting. And I think what we'll do, we'll just wick some up the front there as well. One on one side. And one on the other. Squash that down. And that is one done. So we'll do the rest of those. So there's our guns all done. What I've also did is I got the buff out, this one here, and I just sort of buffed the sides, any of that paint that we sort of didn't catch. Now, don't be too worried about that because, you know, if a little bit got on the sides, it's a bit like camo. I mean, there's one that's dead clean, and on the other side it's got a little bit there, so it doesn't really matter. Clean on that side, a little bit on that side. They're guns. They're, you know, not that the ship traditionally has camouflage, but you can get away with it. That's why I like the water wash. So there's our 4 guns done. We'll move on to the next ones. There's our parts for the next one. Oops, a little bit off there. Here we go. I do notice that the map needs a bit more of a clean. Got doing some painting on here. And there's our next 2 guns done. Yeah, not a big fan of pointing them too far up or down, so just, I know they're sort of sitting that way and they should look alright once they're on. So we'll just let them dry off because there's 2 pieces there that are drying on each one, and we'll work out what's next. So there is section 27's guns, and what we'll do, we'll just fit these ones up. Basically the same thing. You've got the guns sticking through them and the base. So I'll do one fit together first. Well, there's one done, and they are quite fiddly, these ones. So the best way I found to do it was get your main piece, glue your base on, because there's plenty of room to fit the other one. Let's do one on line together. Let's glue that base down. Sorry about that. There you are. Put a dab of glue on there. Let's wick the other side through. So that's one piece. It's all the way down. And then you can grab your next piece, which is where are you? That piece is bigger on one side than the other. So you want the bigger side, which is a side facing up, touching your base. So we'll grab them. So then you want to slip it in with the big part down onto the base. Just while it's in there, just drop a bit of glue in there. It doesn't really matter what you use. I'm going to use the extra thin because I want this to go off quickly. And then when you flip it up, so let's do that one while we're here. Let's put a dob in there. And then we'll flip it up. Here it is. Really lost it. And then what we'll do is we'll put just a tiny drop on this side, just on here. And then we'll make our adjustments to the actual gun itself. So, and there we have it. And there we have our next 4 guns. I think there's one more set to go, 28. Well, there's all our parts for the next gun. So they will go on the same way, which is put the back on, Just sort of put that wick off, and then we can put the fronts on. So there's our next 4 guns all done. We'll just let them dry off for a bit, and then I'll come back. Okay, so they look all pretty dry now, so we'll put them away in the 24 box. So that brings us to the end of, that was 26, no, 26 was the other one. That brings us to the end of 28. So technically what we're supposed to do now, and I think we can do that now, which is start to place all them guns. And we have them all marked up here where they all go. So we'll get on and slowly do those. So the only single 23 on here goes on much like that, and then we twist it back around, and there she is on. That easy. So we'll continue on with the next one, and I think what we'll do is we'll work our way back. So the next one's 24. And again, I'm pretty happy with just the subtleness on these. There's just enough colour to sort of separate it. It wasn't hard to paint. They'll have to go up a bit, those guns. So let's point them up just a fraction. Once we're there, we can then point them down a little bit. Yeah, that'll work. Some people like them side on. I think for the sake of this ship, we'll just leave them there. So next we have 25s, and then 126, and looks like another 25 down here. So we'll do that. I found that rather interesting. So to put these on, you've almost got to put them on in a twist lock action, and these, if you sneeze on this, these will fall off. So I just found that a little bit amusing. So they're now on, those 3, and as you can see, there's just enough subtleness to them to say that they're different, and that's all that we wanted. So yeah, I'm very happy with that. So now we'll fit the 24s down the back. Let's just do that together. So in that locking pin, we'll fit them both on in the locking pins, then turn it around like that. They're not going anywhere once they're in the locking pins, unlike the other ones. So we'll just stick those that way. They look pretty good. How's it looking? Not bad. Okay, we'll put these guns on the other side. We'll turn the ship around. And there's our other side all done, all lined up and everything. So yeah, we'll just move on. I think we got more ammunition to put on. So that was the end of section 29. Let's move on to 30. 30 has, okay, 2 different types of guns. So 30 is for the guns through 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 of each. So 2 of 27 and 2 of 28. So out of 27 and 28, the slightly bigger ones face the rear. Okay, let's do that. So they're now on, and they were so loose that if you bumped the ship, they all fell out. So I've opted to glue these ones down. Not that I'm a big fan of gluing down guns, but yeah, they were so loose that they almost had to. So I'm pretty much just picking my line there and just, you know, one that way, one this way, one that way, and one out towards the back. That's basically how I'm doing it. So I'll turn the ship around and I'll do the other side. So there's our last 4 on this side. I'll just turn this one around a bit more to face the front. That's it. These ones can still be moved, so it doesn't really matter, but you can see if you just bump those, they fall off. So I can't have 50 guns falling off. So yeah, we'll just turn that one around just a bit more, match the other one a little bit. Make sure it's sitting fairly level. That'll do it. Maybe down a touch. Okay, so there's still an awful lot of holes up here, so there's still an awful lot of stuff to go on. So I'll check out what's next. So that is section 30 all done. So we'll turn the page. 31 is about boats and boat holders. We've done the boats the other day. So we'll get them out off the sprue and start putting them on. just as a quick refresher, there's the boat holders, there's the boats. I'm going to hit this with some mat again, and I think that'll just make everything pop nicely. So I'll cut those off and put them on. So I've done these hanging boats before, and I do know it's far easier to just hang them on the boat first, get them set up, let them go right off, and then fit that home. So that is one. I'm sure there's one on the other side, so I'll do that as well. And there's our second one done, and you'll notice one boat faces one way, one faces the other, so that when they go on the ship, they're facing the same way. Well, at least they do now. Next, we need two C28 parts to come off. Take them off. I paused here because I've been trying to work out how to fit this C28 into here probably for about 15 minutes, and there's a ladder just here, and it just does not make sense how it goes on, because technically this would have to go in front of the ladder because there's no other room. It actually makes no sense for me. I'm still going to muck around with it and see if I can get it on. I mean, I've already got the parts already painted, so I'll try and get it on, but if you're struggling with this, again, it's your ship. You can do whatever you want. If I manage to get it on somewhere, I'll come back and I'll show you. But yeah, that was rather annoying, that. Anyway, I'll work it out. So I've just taken a gun off to give you a better view. I put it here. There is a ladder there, but, you know, I don't really know what this piece is, but it's in there. And now I can put the gun back. I can do that right now. Turn him around, and that's kind of like, ooh. They are a little difficult to keep on there, these things. That's why I said before, if you sneeze on them, they just fall off. So that's what I ended up doing with that. It's okay. Now this side is a little different. So this side's a bit more clearer. It just goes either side of the doorway and the ladder there, and it just sort of fits in there just like that. So yeah, this side's a lot easier. So I'll just zoom in a little bit. So I just fitted the next one on the back down here, and these two pieces here. The cannons, the bigger ones, they keep falling off, so at the moment I'll just leave them to the side. So that is this side, because those ones there are now done as well. So I'll turn the ship around and do the other side. So there's the last of all those things on there. All those bits and pieces are from section 32. I'm still waiting on those boats to dry that I keep knocking off. So there's the ship. It's moving right along. I've found this episode to be quite testing, really. So I'm going to do what I say to everyone else, is when it becomes testing, walk away. So with that, I'm going to call this episode here for today. I hope you enjoyed it. The guns look pretty good and they're on there. I'm liking the progress, and yeah, hopefully I'll catch you on the next one. Bye for now.